Hello, everyone. If you're thinking about moving from your current website vendor, then you've come to the right place to hear a superintendent's and a director of technology's perspectives on the processes they went through to make the switch to another provider. Our guest speakers today will discuss the challenges they faced managing their previous websites and the considerations that factored into their choice of a new website provider. Get ready to learn from your peers and join in on the discussion today. Our guest presenters are from Moshannon Valley School District in Pennsylvania and Noblesville School District in Indiana. I'll ask each of you to introduce yourselves. So Tonya, let's go ahead and start with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tonya DeVecchis-Kerr, and I am the superintendent at the Moshannon Valley School District located in Clearfield County, which is a small rural school district located in north central Pennsylvania. I started my education career as a fourth grade teacher. I moved into a counseling position, and I've held numerous administrative positions, as you can see on this slide. And I assumed the superintendency here at Moshannon Valley in 2011. We are a small school district. We have approximately 900 students, K to 12.
Wonderful. Welcome, Tonya.
Thank you.
And Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Andy Swickheimer, and just a little bit about our district. Noblesville Schools is about 20 minutes north of Indianapolis. We're a medium-sized district. We have about 10,000 students, 10 buildings throughout our district, and I am the Director of Technology, where I've been in this position for about 2 years. Prior to that, I was an assistant principal at our high school, and prior to that, I was a teacher for 11 years, where I taught business, computer programming, and social studies.
Wonderful. Welcome, Andy. And this is great. We're getting a perspective of two different sizes of schools, different roles in your district. So we are so excited to hear from you today. So let's go ahead and get started. The first panel question I want to ask is, what challenges were you facing with your previous commercial website solution? And then let's follow that up with, was there a trigger event or several events that caused you to start looking for a different K-12 focused professional solution? And Tonya, we'll start with you.
You know, I really like the graphic on this slide that says, I just landed on an unfriendly website, because I think that sort of captures what we were dealing with. We hosted our own website on our own server, and teachers were using front page for editing. It was not pleasing. It was not user-friendly. Anything that we needed posted had to go through several levels through our technology department before it got posted. There was no immediacy because only technology could post. It was very difficult to navigate, and it was very disorganized. So we really felt the need that we needed to make some changes to get off that unfriendly website.
Great, thank you. And Andy, tell us some of the challenges you guys faced.
Yeah, some of our biggest challenges, obviously we know that many of our users are using mobile devices now, and our previous website just wasn't ready for that. It didn't have the adaptive design that it would adapt to mobile devices, so that was something that was a challenge for us. We have a diverse community, a lot of non-native English speakers, so we wanted to have a website that could be translated into different languages. We had issues with our search functionality with our previous vendor. You just couldn't search and find the results that you were looking for, and our design was just out of date. It had become, kind of stale and wasn't based around best practice in web design. So we needed to kind of go back to the drawing board and find something that was going to be easier for our users to use. And probably the linchpin in all that was we had significant downtime. There were several times over the course of a month where our website was down because the provider that we were working with had some various issues. So that really kind of prompted us to look for a better solution.
Great. And I'm sure many people on the call today have run into these same challenges. So thank you for sharing those with us. The next question. So what concerns do you have about switching from who you were using before to another website vendor? And Tonya, we'll go ahead and start with you again.
Well, not unique to us, but we were all faced with tough budget times. So one of the concerns we had in making the switch was, what is it going to cost us? Is it going to be affordable? Is this what we should enter into now? However, we have a product right now that's not meeting our needs. So money was the first thing. How much was it going to cost? We also were concerned about the time that it was going to take to transition to a new system. Not only the time, but the training that was going to be needed. So how would we fit that in? Because learning a new system can be very time-consuming. So those were the main concerns that we had in making the switch.
Good, thank you. And Andy, how about you?
Yeah, the biggest issue for us, I think, was the strain that it might put on our staff. We wanted to make sure that, whenever you make a transition like this, the time and effort that it goes into moving all that content over from your old site to your new can, take up a lot of time for your technology staff members and your teachers and other staff. So that was really something that we were concerned about and wanted to make sure we managed over a long period of time. And, we had some users in our district that had gone outside of our domain and created their own websites because what we had in place wasn't meeting their needs. So we wanted to, find a way to bring back those users and get them back into our domain and back on our website so that, we had better control and monitoring of what, was going on. So bringing those users back and, the strain on our staff were our biggest concerns.
I'm going to ask you to elaborate a little bit more on having folks create their own websites outside of that district domain. So
sure.
What did that do to your IT team? I mean, did they run into additional problems then?
I wouldn't say it was a big challenge for our IT team. It makes it more of a challenge for our community, for parents, and other folks that are looking for information. Especially with athletics or other events or clubs and things like that. I mean, as big of a district as we are, we need to make it easy for our parents and our community to find that information, find those schedules, find those calendars, find those contacts for all the different after-school activities and athletic programs that we offer. So having everything together where it's well organized and can easily be found for our users was probably the biggest issue. So when somebody goes off and creates their own, outside of our domain, it makes it really difficult for, to have that same branding and look and feel, and for our users to be able to easily access that information.
Perfect. That's great. That's good you guys are thinking about what's best for the users, And
yeah.
Being a parent, I understand, I don't want to go to 7 different websites for 7 different teachers and sports and everything. So that's great. That's a good point. Thank you. Okay, next question. So once you decided, yes, we need to make a switch, how did you go about your decision-making process? Did you use evaluation rubrics? Did you set up a committee? Tell us a little bit about what you did to make your decision. And Tonya, we're back to you.
Sure. Well, and this was a unique experience because I did not follow my typical decision-making process that I use for other things. It just so happened that I had experience with school wires from a former district, and our technology department person also had experience in a previous district with school wires. So we didn't form a committee. We went directly to school wires because we had such positive experiences in previous districts. However, we did use a small group to decide on the layout, the design, the colors, just so that it would capture the visions of the district and the needs of the district. So our process was pretty quick and pretty easy based on the positive experiences we both had with school wires previously.
Oh, that's great. So when you had a small group to come together, how did you guys determine, what kind of design you wanted or your layout? Had you gotten feedback from the community before or maybe from parents?
We did not. We used a cross-section of teachers and specialists from both the elementary and the high school. Now, we would have had feedback, not in a formal survey, but from the community saying, you know, I can't find this on the website, or where do I go for this? So I guess we did have that type of feedback. However, as far as looking at design, we pulled together the teachers and other stakeholders in the district to say, you know, what are our priorities? What do we want people to see when they go there? How do we capture the culture of the school as far as the school mascot, the school colors, et cetera, and then how do we put that into a design? And what was very helpful were the templates that we were provided through School Wires. You know, could look like this. We had a lot of choices to pick from that would meet our unique needs.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for elaborating on that for us. And Andy, how about you?
Yeah, we had two main committees that work with this on us, and we kind of put together a rubric that we developed locally based on some of the things, you know, that I've talked about earlier that we were looking for. And using that rubric, we first started with kind of our technology leadership team. And on that team, we have a cross-functional group of folks that make up that committee. It's made up of, teachers, administrators, and different people involved in the school corporation. And that's kind of where we started and narrowed down the search. And then once we had a better idea about some of the vendors and some of the things we were looking for, we took it to a technology advisory committee, which is made up of, again, parents, teachers, administrators. And so we got a lot of input from, the community, from parents, from teachers, from administrators. And using that rubric, we kind of scored each of the different vendors that we looked at. And then we kind of, once we had it narrowed down to School Wires, then we started to look at, some of the design elements and focus on the design and what it was going to look like. And to go through that, we kind of looked at a lot of best, examples of other schools and colleges and universities, and found the features that we thought would work best for our district. And then once we kind of had the design figured out, we again took it back to some of those committees and got their feedback, and then started the design process with School Wires. So it worked really well for us.
That's great. And it's wonderful to see that you got the community and parents involved too. We're learning that parent engagement is just a huge factor right now in the education industry, and so that's great. Next question here. So what are the benefits of using E-rate funding for your purchase of the School Wires website and CMS? And I know that both of your districts did use E-rate funding, and so Tonya, let's start with you.
Well, the E-rate funding significantly reduced our cost and made School Wires affordable and even more attractive. I was just meeting with the business manager earlier today, and we talked about the savings and how E-rate really did contribute to the purchasing of School Wires. It also is so time-consuming, no, time-saving, excuse me, what a bad choice. It's very time-saving because the ease of navigation. So we were very, very pleased that that it really does help cover the cost, and it does reach out to the community with up-to-date information and resources. So we're a big fan of that.
Wonderful. And Andy?
Yeah, for us, the biggest thing that using E-rate funding allowed us to do was to capture dollars that we would normally spend on a website, and use that money to put it back into the classroom, to improve teaching and learning. We felt like the ability to use E-rate funding gave us a really positive return on our investment, because obviously we feel like, we want to engage our community with two-way communication, and it's really important, in the age of referendums, we've got to be engaging and proactive with two-way communication with our community, and getting that money back through E-rate funding allows us to spend more dollars on teaching and learning, which is most important for our district.
That's great. And as you both know, we're smack dab in the middle of E-rate season, so that was very timely. Thank you for your feedback on your E-rate processes. The next question. So how has your experience been since you made the switch to School Wires? And, even if you have things that you maybe would have done better in the future, go ahead and share those too. We don't expect all perfect. So, Tonya, let's start with you.
Well, I have to say that the transition was very smooth. It was very painless. The trainings that we participated in taught us how to post, gave us the access that we needed. It's very easy and accessible. And it's just now a valuable communication tool. As early as today, I saw an email coming out of the elementary school saying, I want to update pictures that are scrolling on the elementary site, so please send me any current pictures. So I'm sure, if I haven't checked lately, they're probably already up. So it is such a good communication tool. With the unsettling weather that we've been having lately, it's very quick to post something on our website saying we're dismissing early, or we have a late start the next day, or school is going to be canceled the following day. So it was very smooth and very painless and very pleasing from what I'm hearing from parents, community, and other people that access our website.
Let's elaborate on that a little bit. So do you have teacher pages?
Minimal right now.
Okay, and you have different department pages, correct?
Yes, yes we do.
So how was the training? Because I know that was one of your concerns, was that training might be an issue. So can you elaborate a little bit on the type of training you chose? Because we do offer several different types. So what did you guys choose?
We had small group. We did webinars. And that was very helpful. That would walk us through the process. We did we had on-site training as well, and it was very helpful because we would be sitting there and we would create it ourselves, hands-on. So when we walked through the process that way, then we had a lot of practice and a lot of time, and the support from School Wires to lead us through it. It was also very helpful that I had prior experience, as well as our technology department had prior experience. But the training that was provided by School Wires was very helpful for all the people that we had in the small group sessions.
That's great that you guys built out your pages right as you were doing the training. That's very practical. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure.
And Andy, how about you?
Yeah, our experience has been great. We feel like, School Wires has exceeded our expectations. We had a great experience. The implementation went well. With our training, we kind of did a train-the-trainer model, and we sent a team out to School Wires, on their campus, and we spent a couple days with them and really got those folks really trained well. And then they came back, and we put together some small group trainings at every building, because we have 10 different buildings. So we went out to every building and did, face-to-face training, where we kind of had demonstration followed by guided practice. So we were able to bring teachers in small groups, and through those trainings, kind of set up those expectations for what we wanted to have on their classroom pages. And then when they left that training, because it was guided practice, they had the ability and the skills to do what they needed to do to manage those pages when they left that training. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without going out to School Wires and having their trainers work with us, and all the training resources that they shared with us and have on their website. So it was really seamless for us and went really well. And kind of the one challenge that we've had is, because School Wires is so, you can differentiate, have so many different people managing the different building sites and things like that. I guess our one challenge was making sure we had it spelled out who was going to manage what, because you can have a lot of different people managing different things. So that was kind of the one area that I would probably focus on a little bit better, but overall our implementation's been great.
Wonderful. And that's a good point to bring up too, is that you want to be able to have consistency and uniformity in how you present things. And so, yeah, the fact that you can have more than one or two people in charge of updating or editing the content is a wonderful thing. Now it's just learning how to manage them all the right way, right?
Right, exactly.
Great, thank you. And by the way, we love having our clients come visit us out at State College. We look forward to that, and everybody's notified when we get clients there, and so hopefully we come by and make everybody feel welcome. So I'm glad you could make it out there. Next question, what are some of the advantages that you've realized by working with SchoolWires versus your former website solution? And, you know, maybe just a little bit of a comparison between the two. And Tonya, let's go with you.
Okay, as I stated previously, to get anything on the website or to get anything posted, even if it was an early dismissal, it had to go through our technology department. And as a small district, we have one maybe on site, and on a good day we'll have 2 technicians on site. So for immediacy, we didn't have it. Now more personnel have access to that. And even no matter where I'm at, I can post from home, I can post, you know, if I'm at school, and can get those things up there very quickly. So immediacy happened. It's very user-friendly. It's not like that I have to call the technology department and say, I can't remember how to do this, or I can't remember how to add to the calendar. Very user-friendly, and it's very pleasing to look at and navigate. The accessibility, it's always up. It's always enjoyable, and it's enjoyable and quick to post as well. In talking with, I have a student advisory group that we meet once a month, and it's a cross-section of students from grade 6 to 12. And when the site went live and they were able to access it, I get a lot of thumbs up from the children saying, this is a great move. You know, it's so much easier to find things. We can keep up to date. So the children are saying that as well as their parents. They're very, very pleased with the change.
Oh, that's exciting. So let's give a little bit more detail around that. So how do the students use the website?
The teachers that have pages set up, they will go on and look for postings and messages that teachers may post. They use it for our calendar. I mean, now we have school makeup days, snow makeup days that they keep it up to date. Athletics, a very, very big important part as far as the calendar is concerned. And then any announcements. The yearbook post message as far as when yearbook payments are due. The scrolling message center that we have really is, the students tell me that they get a lot of information from that. And what's really neat about it is you post something on the scrolling center, and you don't have to go back and take it down. You'll say, like, okay, well, this deadline is Thursday the 30th, so it can go down at that point as well, and you do that as you post it. So the management of the website is easy as well. So I know that that announcement's not going to scroll a month after it occurred. It's going to be taken down. So it's just very, very pleasing, and that's what the students use it a lot for.
Wonderful. And Andy?
Yeah, since we've been using SchoolWire, I mean, some of the big benefits for us have been, first of all, the ease of use. You know, we did some usability assessments with some of our users, and it's been really positive. We've gotten really good feedback about how usable it is, how folks can find things very quickly without having to, you know, do multiple clicks. So just being able to find things front and center has been really easy. You know, it allows us to kind of shine the spotlight on the innovative and exciting things that are going on in our district. You know, we've got, again, like a big rotating banner image that allows us to highlight the things that are going on, which are very positive. It allows us to drive, you know, our community towards social media because, again, we want that two-way communication with our community and our parents. So being able to drive them to those social media tools like Twitter and Facebook has allowed us to, you know, grow those tools that we use. The Google Translate functionality that we have built in has been a great feature for us. We've experienced 100% uptime, haven't had any issues, and if they are upgrading our service or making changes, we always get notified of it well in advance. The search functionality has been really positive for us. You know, you can type things in that search bar and find things really quickly. And the mobile, you know, the mobile design, we have an adaptable website, which, you know, it looks great on tablets and mobile phones, which is key. You know, I was looking at our Google Analytics here recently, and it shows, you know, we have probably 46% of our visits are coming from mobile devices. So almost half of our visits are, our visitors are looking at our site on their mobile devices. So that's critical and has been great for us. And the next thing we're moving forward with is a downloadable mobile app to further engage our community.
That's exciting. Fun stuff. Can you elaborate a little bit on what you do with your social media or the website? How do you connect the two? Do you have social media icons that people click on?
Probably the two biggest things are the icons and also the ability to embed a lot of those feeds, like for example, athletics. With athletics, there's so many changes that happen with weather and schedule changes and cancellations and so on and so forth. So for them, the best tool that they have is Twitter, to get in contact with folks. So the ability to just embed their Twitter feed on the front page of their website allows those, those athletics folks to really be able to see what's going on, because now the athletic directors and other folks in the athletic department can use Twitter as a tool to update people pretty quickly. So the ability to embed that content in our website is really powerful, and the ability to navigate to the district Facebook page or the district Twitter feed or the district YouTube account or the district Flickr site allows you to really share and engage with your community to bring in that two-way communication, where it's not just us pushing out information, but it's us receiving information back from our community.
Wonderful. And that's what people like. They don't necessarily want to be told all the time, but they do want to engage, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep. Wonderful. Good stuff. So, oh my goodness, we got through that fast, you guys. Now is the time for questions. So if all the audience wants to enter their questions now in the Q&A, now is the time to do it, and we'll let Andy and Tonya grab a drink of water. Before we get started with that, I'd like to let everyone know, though, about some future event topics that we do have coming up. As Andy said, we do have a mobile communications app, and it can be branded, and it's exciting, and we have districts just jumping all over it. So we do have webinars about that mobile communications app. So you'll want to check out there on our website under news and events and look for any mobile communications demos that we have. The next item is our Centricity 2 website and CMS. And so that's what we're featuring today with Noblesville Schools and Moshannon Valley. And we do have webinars that talk about the features and functionality of that also. And then, like we mentioned, family and parent engagement is critical right now with school districts. And we are planning a large event this fall. So keep an eye out for that. And we have a bunch of information out on our website about parent and family engagement. So feel free to go out there and look under our articles and videos about parent engagement and check out all that content out there. So if you two are ready for some questions, we can get started here. One came in about a particular vendor, but I'm just going to kind of generalize it. Say, did you two have any problems importing information or migrating your information from your prior provider to the SchoolWire sites? And so, if you want to elaborate on how you migrated your content, how it came over into like teacher pages and your district site. And Tonya, let's start with you.
Well, I really didn't have a lot of direct involvement with that, because I'm not the tech person. So, I didn't hear complaints about it, and from what I've heard of everybody, it was ease in making all the transitions. But I'm thinking maybe Andy might be better equipped to answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to speak about that. Really, for teachers, it's no different than working in like Microsoft Word or anything other than that, because in SchoolWires, you have a what you see is what you get kind of toolbar where you can, basically it's kind of copy paste. So if you have a lot of content in, another vendor's tool, you can literally just copy that text or, whatever you have in there and, just paste it into the what you see is what you get editor in SchoolWires, and it'll literally be there. They also have a tool where you can import from Word. So a lot of teachers have their content in, Word or Google Docs or other things like that, and they can just bring it in pretty quickly that way. And a lot of teachers have, documents, videos, other things like that they, want to put on their school web page. So, obviously just re-uploading those documents and things like that is pretty quick. So moving the content over is pretty simple for teachers.
Wonderful, thank you. And I just wanted to point out in the chat section, Carrie put up our link to the articles and videos that I referred to. So just click on that link and you'll be able to go right to that area on our SchoolWires website. So thank you, Carrie. Another question here. This one's for Andy. You talked about your teachers and other people doing their own websites outside of the school district. What were some of the ways that you got them to come back and use the SchoolWires site?
Well, I would say that probably the biggest thing was just showing them how easy it is to, how easy it is to put things in SchoolWires, and showing them kind of the vision that our district had for the district website, showing, just educating them as to the benefits, the fact that as a parent or, a staff member or a student, if they want to go and find information about their class, the fact that they can just go straight to our, to that building and then click on classrooms and be able to see that teacher's, all their content right there. Just kind of educating them about that and showing them how much easier it is for our community if we have all those things together in one place, and just how easy it is to, showing them all the features, because a lot of times people will go with another tool because they think it has better features or, things that you can't do in one tool over another. So just kind of educating and training people about, this, we can do everything you want to do here, and we're here to help you with it. So kind of sharing that vision, helping people see all the different options that they have and the different tools that they have. That was probably the biggest factors that helped us get those folks back. Great.
Thank you. Another question about, one of you mentioned snow conditions and weather. So can both of you elaborate a little bit on how you use the website for school closings or emergencies, that sort of thing? And Tonya, if you want to start?
Sure. Once we make the decision that we are going to be closed or dismissed early or canceling evening events, it's very easy and quick. I'm typically the one that does it, although if I'm tied up with anything else, then secretaries and business managers can access it as well. And the reason I like to do it myself is because it's enjoyable to do and it's easy to do. And the results and the way you navigate through it and can check on the site to see if it's there, if it's posted, if it's in the correct format, if the graphics are there. So I typically am the one that does that when there is a school early dismissal, a school closing, or a late start. Also, the other part of that is when we have makeup days, we will put it right on the calendar. We will put another message, upcoming events. No longer is February 13th the day off. It will be a school student makeup day. So it's just very easy to get that information up there and get it out. And you can put it, we put it right on the main page, so nobody really has to look anywhere for it. And even if they did have to look for it, there is ease in navigating through the site.
Perfect, thank you. And do you guys use the e-alerts at all, either one of you?
I do not.
We do not.
Okay, and Andy, can you talk a little bit about how you guys use the website for school closings, alerts, weather issues?
Yeah, absolutely. When we designed our site, we have 10 different sites, for each building that we have. And when we designed our sites, we basically divided it into thirds. We have kind of one sliver that has like our mission and vision. We have another one that talks about district news, and that channel goes to all of our websites. So our public relations person, it's really convenient for our public relations person, because really what she has done is she has created all those alerts and things ahead of time. And then if something like that ever happens, because it usually happens late in the evening or early in the morning, all she has to do is activate it. And then it shows up on our district news channel on the district web page and then all the other building pages. So having that feature has been great for her. And then obviously it shows up on mobile devices and things like that as well. So having those alerts saved and ready to go, and then she just has to activate them, and they're instantly on every site, every website that the district has been great for us. And once we get the mobile app, we'll be able to send out push notifications, to iOS and Android devices, so that when we have a weather delay or a closing or something like that, we can do a push notification to whoever wants to receive those push notifications through the mobile app's device. And I talked about the social media integration as well. We obviously send those things out via Facebook, Twitter. So having the social media integration really helps too, because the more folks that we have on those tools, that's probably the quickest way to find out what's going on is through Twitter or Facebook. So having all those tools allows us to get things out really quickly.
And something tells me this week you both had to use your websites for that.
Absolutely.
Yes, without question.
Okay, and I believe since you're talking about the mobile, thank you, Carrie. Carrie went out there and put up the SchoolWires mobile website link, so you all can go check out that and learn more about our mobile solutions that we have out there. I have one more question, and then looks like we can wrap this up. So if there's any additional questions, now is last call. So both for Tonya and Andy, if you could let us know, if you were talking to a peer and they said, we're kind of disappointed with how our current website is working or not working, what kind of advice would you give them? Where would you tell them to start? What would you tell them to do? And Tonya, let's start with you.
Well, I think what I would tell them, I would actually show them immediately to take them to our site, our district site, and actually, if it's depending on the level of the person, as far as if it's somebody that's going to have decision-making authority and power to do that, show them how easy it is to navigate and also to post. I could go in as the site manager and post something, show them how easy it is and the ease of doing that. I would also, I know other sites that are run by SchoolWires, that other websites, other districts, and say, look at the variety and look how you make it unique to you. I would share with them our process that really, again, it wasn't much of a decision-making process because we went right directly to SchoolWires because of the good experience that we had, and I certainly would share that with them. And then I think a big issue everybody has is cost. And, we're very small, we're a very poor school district with not a good local tax base at all. We are 70-some% funded by the state, very little federal and very little local funds coming into us. And I would say how manageable the cost of what we pay for SchoolWires and the services that's providing to the district. And then also an important part of that is included in the E-rate.
Perfect, thank you. And Andy, what kind of advice would you give?
I would, I would probably start with their community. Talk to parents, talk to teachers, talk to students, and find out what they're looking for. What are their expectations from the district when it comes to, the web and the communications, and use that as kind of your starting point. Maybe gather some feedback, and from there, start to look at. I would probably talk with them about some of the best practices in web design. Show them some models. It's really easy to find lists of best practices in web design, and they got a lot of examples of universities and K-12 schools that have really good web design principles embedded in them. Look at what sort of training and implementation is going to look like, what sort of training and support you're going to get, what the uptime is. Obviously, cost is important. What kind of return on your investment are you going to get, and what you really need to have in place to engage your community. Those are probably some of the things that I would try to look at.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You two have just been a wealth of information, and we really appreciate the time and effort you put into this presentation today, and our practice sessions and putting everything together. It's been a pleasure to work with both of you, and I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to talk to your peers a little bit and answer their questions and share your experiences.
Well, you're quite welcome for that, and I want to say thank you to you as well. When you're supporting a great product like this, it's very easy to make the commitment of time to work on something like this. So I was very honored to be a part of this today, and I learned some things from Andy as well.
Oh, that's good to hear. I was happy to participate as well.
Thank you to both of you, and thanks everybody for the great questions you had for Tonya and Andy. And just as a reminder, look for our email with the webinar recording link. You should get that within the next day or two. And in the meantime, if you want to learn more about SchoolWire solutions for your website and content management needs, go ahead and visit our website at schoolwires.com. And if you come up with any other questions that you want some answers to, go ahead and email us at sales@schoolwires.com. And we can help you out with our Centricity 2 essential packaging, tell you a little bit more about our mobile options, and help you in any way we can. So again, thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.